I'm Dr. Binu. For the fundamentals of electrical and electronics engineering, the third topic in the second unit is the various definitions of sinusoidal quantities like a peak value, RMS value, and various power factors. What is meant by alternating quantity? Alternating quantity is defined as the current whose magnitude is changes with respect to time, which also reverses its direction periodically. The general equation for the alternating quantity is represented by I is equal to I naught sin omega t as well as I is equal to I naught cos omega t. Here I naught is the peak value or maximum value for the alternating quantity. Here, the various definitions for the alternating quantity is represented in this waveform. The peak value is represented by maximum value. The RMS value is equal to 0.707 times of RMS value. The average value is equal to 0.637 times of peak value. The current is indicated as a sine function. At half the period of an alternating current, the amount of charge passed through the circuit at any time is T by 2, which is represented by the equation Q is equal to integral of 0 to T by 2 I naught sin omega t dt. The definition of RMS value of an alternating quantity. RMS stands for root mean square of instantaneous current value. RMS of alternating current is given by direct current which flows through a resistance. This value of AC is greater than the average value. RMS value of a sine current can be determined by the area covered in half circle. Normally, RMS current is represented by IRMS. This RMS value is applicable for the waveforms which include sinusoidal, non-sinusoidal, symmetrical as well as asymmetrical. What is the formula for calculating the RMS value is nothing but IRMS is equal to I naught divided by root 2. This slide shows the derivation of RMS value. Finally, we are applying IRMS is equal to I naught divided by root 2, which is nothing but 0.707 times of I naught. These values are measured by ammeter and voltmeter, which are normally used in the circuit. What is meant by peak value? Peak value is defined as the maximum value reached by an alternating quantity in 1 second. Then what is meant by average value? The average of all the instantaneous values of an alternating voltage and currents over one complete cycle is represented by average value. RMS value is a square root of means of squares of instantaneous values. What are the methods used to determine the RMS value? There are normally two methods are used. One is graphical method, another one is analytical method. Energy transfer capability of an AC source can also calculated with root mean square value. The definition of alternating quantity. AC is a type of electric current that changes directions and magnitude over time. Power calculation. RMS values are also used in power calculation because they represent the value of direct current that produce the same average power dissipation in a resistor. This slide shows the circuit which is represented in AC circuit as well as DC circuit. In DC circuit, the power is simply represented by DC power, but in the case of AC circuit, the power can be represented in three ways. One is active power, another one is reactive power, the third one is apparent power. What is meant by real power? Real power is the power that performs the actual work or useful work. Then what is reactive power? This is the power that does not perform any useful work. And apparent power is the total power in the circuit which includes both the real power and the reactive power. Normally, the real power is also called as active power. Real power is measured with the unit of watts. The power consumed by resistive loads, the power that generates heat, light or mechanical energy is considered as real power. What is reactive power? The reactive power is normally represented by the alphabetical letter Q. It is a wattless power. It is measured with volt ampere reactive, that is the unit of reactive power is watt. The power associated with the energy storage as well as release is called as reactive power. This power is oscillates between the source as well as reactive elements in the circuit. Apparent power. Apparent power is represented by the term S. The unit is volt amperes. The total power flowing through the circuit is nothing but apparent power. This produces RMS voltage and current. The capacity of the power system to provide real and reactive power. All the three powers are represented by in a power triangle. Active power is represented by VA cos phi. Reactive power is represented by VA sin phi. Then apparent power is VI with the unit of volt ampere. What is meant by power factor? The ratio between real power and apparent power is called as power factor. The relationship between power and line current is inversely proportional to each other. There are two power factors, unity power factor, leading power factor as well as lagging power factor. In the power network system, reactive power can be increased and decreased using system excitation. If the excitation increases, the reactive power is also getting increases. If the reactive power is increases, the power factor decreases, which is nothing but the power factor is lagging. The lagging load consumes reactive power and the generator will supply reactive power to the system. The leading as well as lagging power factor is represented in this diagram. Normally, inductive circuit is having lagging power factor. In this, the current lags the voltage with the angle of phi. Normally, capacitor circuits are having leading power factor. Leading power factor is nothing but the current leads the voltage with the phase angle of phi. The reactive power is represented in this manner. The various equations for the real as well as reactive powers are represented. We already saw active power is P is equal to VA cos phi with the unit of watts. Reactive power Q is equal to VA sin phi with the unit of watts. Apparent power is S is equal to VA volt ampere.